Right now, somewhere on your body, there are tiny muscles whose only job is to puff up fur you don't have. Every time you get cold or scared, your body launches a full fur-raising operation on skin that is basically hairless. This is not a glitch, it's a very old program running on very new hardware. And it turns out that ancient program still does something useful, just not what you'd expect. Let's start with what's actually going on under your skin. Every single hair on your body has a tiny muscle attached to its base called the arrector pili. When you get cold or scared, your nervous system fires a signal and all those tiny muscles clench at once. The muscles yank each hair upright and bunch the skin around it. That's the bump. The whole thing is controlled by the sympathetic nervous system, the same branch that handles fight or flight. You can't control it any more than you can control your heartbeat. It just happens. Now, in most mammals, this reflex is actually very useful. Take a cat. When it's scared, its fur puffs out across its whole body. It suddenly looks about twice as big. That's not an accident. A bigger-looking animal is scarier. It buys time or ends a fight before it starts. The same trick works in cold weather. Puffed up fur traps warm air close to the skin. Nature's own puffer jacket. Birds do this too. That's why they look round and fluffy in winter. So piloerection, that's the technical name for it, solves two problems. Look bigger, stay warmer. Here's where humans got a bad deal. Somewhere between 2 and 4 million years ago, our ancestors lost most of their body hair. The leading theory, we needed to sweat more efficiently to cool down during long-distance running on the savannah. Less fur, better cooling. A fine trade for a distance runner. But the arrector pili muscles, those didn't get the memo. They're still there, still connected to the same nerves, still firing the same signal. Evolution doesn't clean up after itself. If a trait isn't actively harmful, it just stays. The result, when you're scared, your body puffs up hairs so small they can barely be seen. Very threatening. And when you're cold, those hairs trap an air pocket, roughly the thickness of a sheet of paper. Very warm. So as a survival mechanism today, goosebumps are basically decorative. But then something weird happens. You hear a piece of music and the goosebumps come back. No cold, no predator, just a chord progression, and your body does the full fur raise. This is called Frisson. It's the same reflex hijacked by emotion. The sympathetic nervous system doesn't just handle danger, it's also connected to the brain's emotion and reward circuits. When something moves you deeply, a song, a speech, a moment of unexpected beauty, dopamine floods in. That dopamine spike is up to 9% stronger than the pleasure from everyday rewards. Music can hit harder than a snack. Not everyone gets this. Only about half to 2/3 of people experience frisson. It seems to be linked to how strongly your brain's emotional and auditory areas are connected. It's not about taste or how much you love music, it's just wiring. Now here's the part that surprised even scientists. In 2020, researchers at Harvard discovered that the arrector pili muscles aren't just vestigial junk. They found that these muscles connect sympathetic nerves directly to hair follicle stem cells. When the muscle contracts from cold, stress, or anything that triggers goosebumps, it nudges those stem cells awake. Awake stem cells make new hair. Goosebumps over time might actually help your hair grow. So it's not completely pointless. It just works on a much slower timescale than anyone suspected. Evolution kept the machinery running because it was still doing something. Just quietly, underground. So let's recap what's going on every time your arm looks like a plucked chicken. Tiny ancient muscles fire. They were built to puff fur you no longer have. In the short term, useless for warmth, useless for intimidation, but still wired in. In the long term, nudging your stem cells, helping new hair grow, doing quiet work nobody noticed for decades. And sometimes when a song hits just right, hijacking your entire reward system and sending a wave of chills down your spine. Not bad for a muscle that was supposed to puff up fur you lost 2 million years ago. The stick figures did their best. Subscribe if you want to see them try again.